Good evening and welcome to Primetime News, coming to you live and direct from the Newsfirst studios here in Colombo. I'm Brandin Singha. Let's now take a look at headlines.
Commission to be appointed to probe public service salary anomalies. Proposal to be presented to Cabinet next week. Railway employees to continue with strike action. Ministry of Finance to provide aid to buses that grant concessions to passengers. Price of 95-octane petrol and super diesel increased from midnight. R. Sambandhan to remain as opposition leader. Speaker delivers his stance on the matter.
Price of a litre of 95-octane petrol and a litre of super diesel will be increased by 2 rupees and 1 rupee respectively from midnight today.
The revision is based on the pricing formula that was introduced to come into effect on the 10th of every month based on global market prices. Thereby, the second review of fuel prices under the formula was scheduled for today. During a media briefing held at the Ministry of Finance, it was revealed that the prices of Octane 92 petrol and Lanka auto diesel will remain unchanged. The new price of a litre of 95-octane petrol is 157 rupees, while the new price of a litre of super diesel is 130 rupees. The prices of fuel as per Singapore's E-flat index showed a drop in the first half of this month. It was at $81.67 during the previous price revision. During the past 2 weeks, with the rising of tensions in Iran, the global market prices have begun to increase gradually. On the 3rd of August, the fuel prices had increased up to $81.5, the same price as at 6th of July. I believe that if tensions in the Middle East reduce, fuel can be issued at prices lower than the previous prices. But I must remind you that the fuel prices are still lower than that during the Rajapaksa regime.
Petrol mila Rajapaksa regime kaaleta wada 2014 wada thawamat adu.
Speaker Karu Jayasuriya announced his final decision on the post of opposition leader today. The Speaker stressed there is no constitutional or traditional provision for him to accept the group of joint opposition MPs as a separate party. As a certain number of MPs from the United People's Freedom Alliance are holding ministerial positions in the national government, as per the constitution, I am not able to recognize the UPFA MP seated in the opposition as the opposition party. It is my final decision that, as the Speaker, I have no constitutional or traditional provision to make any change to the post of opposition leader of Parliament at this time. I am not in 4 hours.
The issue is this: 70 of us contested and we were elected to Parliament, and it was not to create a government led by the UNP. Honourable Speaker, as per the standing order, your decision is final.
I have explained it. I expect you to honour it. It is not arbitrary. It is based on the standing order.
3 matters arose from your decision. We need clarification.
This cannot be debated. You are violating the standing order.
An accused is given a chance to speak even when he is sentenced to death. Forgive me, Honourable Speaker, but there were 2 issues that arose from your statement.
There is no use of saying it now. Inform me about it later.
Are you saying that we must leave the UPFA and be an independent group?
My decision is final.
A decision can be given after you become independent. First become independent MPs.
An argument broke out in Parliament today between Minister Patali Champika Ranawaka and MP Udaya Gammampila.
Do you accept the appointment of a legal advisor and media coordinator to a ministry breaching due process is in fact the violation of the existing circulars and misappropriation of public funds?
I do not accept that. We have done this on behalf of the Ministry and the Urban Development Authority. there has been no violation of any circular regarding the minister's staff.
You are enrolling ordinary level and advanced level past people as advisors and coordinators to the UDA. Is this because you have no faith on the graduates and those with higher educational qualifications in the Urban Development Authority?
When we are dealing with the general public, the educational degree is not that important. The late Sirimava Bandaranayake or D.S. Sinanayake did not have any. The MP who raised this question was serving near 2 MPs here when he was a provincial councillor. Weren't the educational qualifications important to him back then? You were the Minister of Environment in the previous government. You appointed him chairman of the Environmental Authority. What were the benefits and perks offered back then?
He says he appointed 2 people that I had appointed before. The country thinks that I am his associate. I am thankful that he accepted that he follows my steps and is my associate.
Minister Field Marshal Sarath Fonseca presided over the Kalani Development Committee meeting today. Thereafter, he responded to questions posed by the media.
There are 4 people who work with me. When I go to see elephants, they follow me at their expense. There was no allegation against them for almost a year and a half, but within 3 weeks, 3 out of the 4 were arrested claiming that there were swords and machetes in their homes. This is all done through politics. A separate underworld is in operation. The innocent people are victimized. I am waging war against this. Let's see what happens in the future.
බලමු ඉස්සරහට මොකද වෙන්නේ කියලා. ඒ කියන්නේ ඔබතුමා කියන්නේ මේ අය මේ අත්අඩංගුවට අරන් තියෙන්නේ මේ නීති විරෝධී ආකාරයට යම් කිසි දේවල් ඔවුන් එක්ක. ඔව් අපි දන්න විදියෙන් නම් මේ තාමත් අද රටේ තත්ත්වය.
As per the situation of the country, a search warrant is necessary to search any premises. They had not come with any and carried out a search. Later they say that certain material were found like a drug packet, marijuana and even a knife. If you take a look at the area in Chilau, knives which are 3 to 4 feet in length are sold in the streets. Some keep such knives at home for self-protection. This depends on the area. These people were victimized inside 3 weeks.
සුමාන 2-3 ඇතුළත මේ ඔක්කොම මේ මිනිස්සුන්ට පහර දෙන්න පටන් ගත්තා. ඒ කියන්නේ මතුමා මේ රටේ ඔබතුමා කියන හැටියට නීතිය හා සාම්‍ය හරියාකාරව ක්‍රියාත්මක වෙන්නේ නැහැ. වෙන්නේ නැහැ. අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම වෙන්නේ නැහැ.
Definitely, I must state that when we are waging war with Mahinda Rajapaksa at that time, our supporters were not taken away by planting drug packets in their person. But the situation has deteriorated. If this is not stopped, the future will be embarrassing. There is political influence in the police as well. Among the officials, there are those who work for political needs. This is done by all of them.
මේ ඔක්කොම එකතු වෙලා තමයි මේක කරන්නේ. ඒතකොට නීති හා සාමය අමාත්‍යවරයා මේ ගැන බලාගෙන ඉන්නවා මේ S2 අරගෙන අමාත්‍යතුමාට මම මේක ගැන පැමිණිලි කරලා තියෙනවා.
Sarath Fonseca, the former army commander who was feted as the architect of the military's victory against terrorism that lasted almost 3 decades, is one who returned to the battlefield despite being seriously injured in a terrorist bomb attack. At a time when no one dared to pose a challenge, Fonseca came forward to challenge the Mahinda Rajapaksa administration as a common candidate for the 2010 presidential election. Field Marshal Sarath Fonseca is a decorated war hero who had showcased brave leadership. But who is coming after him?
For the last 20-22 years, we have seen how Mr. Ranil Wickremesinghe has sent so many hundreds of UNP potential leaders from the party by ultimately putting each and every person against them. Now today he has started a movement against Mr. Harin Fernando, Sajid Premadasa, Navin Disanayake. What he does is he gets his political allies in various other parties to sling mud at them. Once they sling mud at them, what he tries to do is he says, no, these people have no standing with the people, with the general. Mr. Sajid Premadasa, Mr. Navin Disanayake, Mr. Harin Fernando, all of them are being hounded out. They want to somehow see that these people are thrown out of the UNP, and he wants to see that people who are loyal to him, who are his friends, who are his close allies, are voting, and popular leaders are always thrown out of the UNP.
Comments were made at various fora today regarding the 10 billion rupee loan granted to a company where People's Bank director is Group Executive Vice President of the said company.
Several banks were under my purview. The ministry did not get involved in the loan granting programs. Every bank has a talented board of directors. The board makes the decisions. There is a credit committee in the director board, and that committee must make the recommendations for this. The board of directors cannot take decisions alone.
අධ්‍යක්ෂක මණ්ඩලයට පවා තනියෙන් එහෙම තීරණයක් ගන්න බෑ ක්‍රෙඩිට් නම් එහෙම වැරදි.
If a loan has been given in a wrong manner, the officials must be held responsible. Action must be taken to recover the money. We cannot let the country suffer losses. We have given instructions to recover money through legal means with regards to similar large loans from the past. Therefore, the government and the bank must have legal regulations. If it has been given in a wrong manner, there must be a proper inquiry. The central bank or this bank can do this.
කරන්න මා බැංකුවට හෝ බැංකුවට ඉඩ තියෙනවා.
There is a definite involvement of Malik Samaravikrama in this incident because at the breakfast meeting, Kabir Hashim was present with Malik Samaravikrama and the former finance minister to plan the central bank treasury bond scam. This is the truth. After Ranil Wickremesinghe, it is Malik Samaravikrama who is to be held responsible for steering the economic committee, the government and the United National Party. Therefore, Malik Samaravikrama is a strong partner in all the activities done by the government. That fact should not be forgotten.
Following our revelations on bond scam 2 years today, analysts have now pointed out that the EPF lost out opportunities to increase revenue at the second bond scam.
The Employees Provident Fund is currently the largest social security scheme in Sri Lanka. It was created by the government for the benefit of the people to provide them comfort and financial security in retirement after years of hard work. The fund is the contributions made by the employees of institutions and establishments of the private sector, state-sponsored corporations, statutory bodies and private business. The aim of the EPF is to assure financial stability to the employee in the winter of life, and it is the view of all that this fund needs to be managed and administered by professionals in order that the fund is not abused by anyone in the likes of former Central Bank Governor Arjuna Mahendran or indeed perpetual treasuries. In Bond Scam 1, the Commission of Inquiry noted that at least rupees 8,500 million was lost due to undue interference. At the bond scam, it was the people's money. The contributions made by you and I, by us, were looted in broad daylight, and we, the people, question who on earth are they to steal the contributions of the people? On the 29th of March 2016, the Employees Provident Fund had purchased ₹1 billion worth of bonds in the primary market and 10 billion of the same bond in the secondary market. The EPF enjoys the status of being a primary dealer, which enables it to purchase bonds at the primary market. In short, it means out the middleman in the secondary market. By making purchases in the secondary market, EPF permitted the middlemen, including Perpetual, to gain unusual profits. If the EPF bid the entire 10 billion at the primary auction, the government would have generated ₹1.95 per 100 rupees of debt. Since the EPF only purchased ₹1 billion worth of bonds, the fund lost 550 million rupees, directly affecting the people's money. Evidence laid before the Presidential Commission identified that PTL fixed this auction and enjoyed and profited financially from associations they had with individuals across several institutions, including the EPF, on its payroll. According to the Auditor General, the estimated immediate loss was calculated at 784.8 million rupees. This is yet another instance where the people were fooled by those in authority. The several persons who swindled public money should never have been elected or appointed to these positions by the people, since clearly they do not enjoy any right whatsoever to swindle public money. The law must be the law for everyone.
The 104th model village constructed by the Samata Sevada Yali Pibidinudaga Manta program was vested with the public today. The event was graced by Deputy Leader of the United National Party, Minister Sajid Premadasa.
The model village constructed in Karankatcha in Pilana Nimana in Gaul was named Siapatagama. The village was constructed at a cost of 18.4 million rupees and comprises
construction work on the
of January 2016 and is being directly monitored by the Road Development Authority. The Kadawatha-Kerala-Pitya section of the outer circular highway is 9.6 kilometers in length and consists of 4 lanes. The project will also include the construction of 3 flyovers. The cost of the project is 77.7 billion rupees and funding is being done through loans from China and state banks. The aim of the outer circular highway is to reduce the traffic congestion within the Colombo city by connecting the southern, central and Katunayaka expressways, thereby allowing traffic to bypass the capital. This highway will also play an integral part in the proposed logistics facility to be built in Mutturajavela, which is part of the Sustainable Development Program of the island. The outer circular highway, which is the first project under the Sustainable Development Program of the incumbent government, is expected to be completed and vested in the public by mid-2019.
Fishermen from Saukare in Eravur made a rather unusual catch today when their nets caught a giant Manta Ray.
According to the fishermen, this spectacular creature weighs over 3,000 kilograms. This particular giant Manta Ray was sold for a staggering 900,000 rupees.
This morning, locals in the Vakire area Batiklo had observed that a giant tusker was nearing death. However, by evening, something different had taken place.
A tusker was seen nearing death this morning in the Vakire area. When the locals visited the site again this evening, the elephant had breathed its last, and sadly, the tusks had been cut off and taken away by an unknown group.
Aparna Fernando now joins with us for the weather forecast.
Very good evening to all of viewers. You're joining me, Aparna Fernando, on Weather First. Let's take a look at the weather forecast for upcoming days. Gusty winds can be expected across the country as well as in the coastal areas, especially in the southern sea area. And also the wind speed can increase in central and southern provinces. Considering tomorrow, a favorable weather can be expected in Colombo, yet there can be showers in most of the places in the country. Even day after tomorrow on 12th and 13th, showers can be expected in most of the places including Colombo. And even the skies can be cloudy in the southwest part of the country. Especially on 13th, heavy showers can be expected in Ratnapura district. Now let's take a look at the weather forecast for Colombo.
The Presidential Commission of Inquiry into Sri Lankan Airlines and Mihin Airlines continued their investigations into the subject yesterday.
It was revealed at the commission that Mihin Lanka had depended heavily on Bank of Ceylon to fund their operations, starting with a 250 million rupee OD facility taken in 2006. The evidence presented to the commission by senior staff members at Bank of Ceylon showed that the airline had leveraged their connections with the bank on multiple occasions in order to gain financial assistance. These financial facilities range from ODs and loans to letters of credit and bank guarantees. The airline has leveraged treasury guarantees and treasury comfort guarantees that helped in obtaining financial facilities. It was revealed that a number of repayments, including those that had been delayed, were made on the 31st of March 2009. This was done using a government loan carrying loan number 370 Shri 1. A total sum of 1,381,700,195.45 rupees was borrowed from the Bank of Ceylon, with the burden of the loan taken on by the Public Debt Department. This has been reaffirmed by a letter from Director General Vidana Arachi of the Treasury Operations. The loan had been obtained to pay back both the Bank of Ceylon and the Singhaputra Bank. According to the evidence presented, the BOC has wiped off interest on payments made following January 2009, meaning payments up to the end of the calendar year 2008 carried an interest rate of AWPLR plus 2%. This resulted in a loss of revenue for the bank and a drop in profits.
As we mentioned in the bulletin earlier, the 104th model village constructed by the Samata Sevada Yalipibidinu Dagamana program was vested with the public today. The event was graced by Deputy Leader of the United National Party, Minister Sajith Premadasa.
The model village constructed in Karankacha in Pilana Akmimana in Gaul was named Siapatagama. The village was constructed at a cost of 18.4 million rupees and internal roads. In line with the opening ceremony, deeds were presented to the beneficiaries of the project and a number of other families were presented with housing loans. Before 2015, what was in operation was the revolution of the royal family. Today, rural strength is activated. Back in the day, it was the strength of the royal family that was in existence. Today, Gamudawa is in operation. Back then, it was the dawn of the royals. This is the truth. They used the military victory to line their pockets with dollars and pounds. They ransacked dozens of national resources. Now they are acting like saints. The rural community was not empowered then. It was the royal family that was strengthened. The revolution did not take place in the village at that time.
Minister of Finance Mangala Samaraveera said a cabinet paper on appointing a commission to probe salary anomalies not only of railway employees but of the entire public sector will be presented next week. However, the strike action launched by railway is still ongoing.
Railway services were hampered today due to the strike action launched demanding for the salary grade of railway employees be increased to M2 salary grade. The Railway Department took steps to operate a few trains with the help of technical supervisors, and passengers were allowed to travel on these trains without purchasing a ticket. According to our correspondents, no trains operated from the Gampaha, Kurunagala and other main railway stations after 8 this morning.
People don't have money. People come here with their season tickets to travel via train. No one is taking up the responsibility and no one is looking into this. They earn thousands of rupees. They don't care about the lives of others. The train which was supposed to come yesterday is yet to arrive. We will go home only if it comes. Launching strike actions of this nature is unfair. Even we are state sector employees.
Foreign nationals were also inconvenienced by the strike action.
No train today, we buy train yesterday, 4,000 rupees. And why we go to Jaffna today? I don't know.
Make the payments immediately after the cabinet approves them. If not, we will continue our trade union action. Don't point the finger at us. A statement was made in Parliament that our salaries will be increased from 44,000 rupees to 54,000 rupees. That is the wage for our grade. To come to this grade, one must work at the Railway Department for at least 30 years. If there are issues regarding the salaries of employees of all grades in the Railway Department, provide a solution to them and put an end to this issue. Our employees have been severely inconvenienced by the government that we created. The officials should find a way to operate the trains during this period if they cannot provide the salary grade that is been asked for. We have given them an alternative, saying that as an engine driver assistant unions, we are ready to operate the trains. If salaries that cannot be given can be approved by the cabinet, why can't engine driver assistants be assigned to operate the trains after obtaining a cabinet approval? We state that decisions should be taken without inconveniencing the general public. These salaries cannot be given no matter the number of discussions held.
මෙම වැඩ වර්ජනය
If these people decide to continue with the strike action, we are ready to face it. We make a request for bus owners. If arrangements are made to implement a special bus service for railway commuters, register at the National Transportation Commission. I request that you provide free services to these buses to passengers who have railway season tickets. As the Finance Ministry and the government, we are ready to bear the full cost of these services provided through these special buses. We also request the trade union leaders to immediately call off this strike action without inconveniencing the general public. We are ready to hold talks to discuss about your problems. General Secretary and the Treasurer are preparing a cabinet paper to appoint a commission to revise the salaries of all state sector employees. After we appoint the commission on Tuesday, we will implement a system to increase salaries on all state sector employees within 2 or 3 months.
වැඩ පිළිලක් සකස් කරන බවට මේ අවස්ථාවේදී කියන්න කැමතියි.
It is very unfair of these engine drivers who receive an additional salary of more than 250,000 rupees to launch a strike action like this. 8 to 10 train rounds of trains were operated yesterday. Now they are attempting to forcibly stop these drivers from operating the trains. We ask the public not to travel by trains. Use buses as much as possible. Train tickets have been made valid for buses. We will deploy as many buses as we can. The current situation seems to be one where our state's institutions are being reformed and are stagnant. This damages the development of our economy. Against such a backdrop where the economy of the country is collapsing, increasing the salaries will increase the expenses of the general public in an artificial manner. This will stop the government revenue and tax income from increasing. But making arrangements to pay is more like taking a step backwards.